Star Wars: The Bad Batch Season 1 is available on Disney Plus in its entirety, 16 episodes, 20 minutes each. It's an animated show set in the Star Wars universe, developed by Dave Filoni as a spin-off to the long-running Clone Wars show. This one centers around the titular Bad Batch, a group of clones with specific genetic defects which make them particularly geared towards one area of combat. For example, Hunter is a master of hand-to-hand combat. He's also very tactical in terms of the battles. Wrecker is this huge and muscular guy, but he's kind of dumb. Tech is proficient with technology, and so on. The show begins right around the time of Order 66, which marked the end of the Republic and the beginning of the Empire. The Bad Batch end up refusing to follow orders to serve the Empire, and they save a girl named Omega, who is a kid and a clone of Jango Fett as well, created for as yet mysterious purpose by the Kaminoans, and together with her they go on the run. Well, not all of them. Crosshair, the sniper guy, ends up on the side of the villains, and as he's trying to chase his old buddies down and they themselves look for allies and purpose, the galaxy around them is being quickly remade under the new regime. So, let's just get the obvious stuff out the way. Animation is very good, voice acting terrific, there's a lot of cameos and appearances from well-known characters and objects and planets and so on, and the music is fantastic throughout. Let's focus on the stuff that stands out. First thing to get out of the way is the character of Omega, which starts off as a kind of annoying kid who doesn't listen to adults and constantly gets herself or them into trouble. Some people have criticized the show for it already, but here's my take. Dave Filoni has done the exact same thing twice already. He introduced Ahsoka Tano in Clone Wars and then Ezra Bridger in Rebels. Both characters started out as annoying kids, hated by the fandom, and both, over the course of their shows, became fan favorites and one of the better Star Wars characters overall. So it's 2 for 2 so far, and I wouldn't discount Omega just yet. I think that once again we just have to meet her as an irritating kid in order to appreciate the growth that is sure to come in future seasons, which we already know are coming. So that part is fine with me. There is another more general aspect of the show though that I wanted to talk about. The most interesting thing that the show had going for it was the timeline that it's set in. If you think about it, all of the mainline movies and even shows from the Star Wars universe so far have either been set during the Republic period or firmly after its fall, when the Empire was already an established thing. But we've had very little insight into this transition period and the beginnings of the Empire and how it was actually, being restructured into the totalitarian government that we know. The Bad Batch kind of taps into that, and there are episodes which really make use of this time period, make it a point to set themselves in it. The most standout ones are the ones I enjoyed the most are episode 1 and episode 15, which you may notice is pretty much the beginning and the end. So the question is, what's in between? Well, that's where some of the problems come in, because a lot of the episodes are uneven. Some of them are good standalones, some of them feel more like filler. In general though, there is that permeating feeling that these episodes don't bring that much in terms of interesting storytelling. At first I thought, yeah, that's fine, because we need to have a bunch of slower story arcs to build up the characters and the relationships so that the big stuff hits harder later on. But then I thought about it some more after seeing the whole season, and I asked myself the question, well, is there really that much character development in the first season? And the answer, sadly, is probably not. There is some, but I do have a strong feeling that if you just squeezed it, removing the fat, it would be like 6 episodes, and all the rest does feel like a bit of a drag. Very pretty, sometimes entertaining, sometimes kind of funny with the jokes. As usual, a goldmine for Star Wars trivia and references and lore, but kind of boring nonetheless. Then again, it was a show for fans of the universe in the first place. I doubt that someone who doesn't already like Star Wars will suddenly choose this show to give it a chance, which means that the little things that do work can certainly be counted in its favor. I thought it was okay overall. It is very nicely bookended by the first and last episodes, and especially episode 15 is just fantastic with the whole Camino sequence. It feels like the first real cinematic moment which separates the prequels era from the Empire era. Nostalgic and sad and also amazing. The rest of it was passable. I really genuinely think there's a potential to make it much better in the future if the flaws are corrected in the next seasons.